Hey, welcome to Selfful Sundays with Dr. Boz. I have my girl with me today, Tracy Mind Evolution, and I asked her to come so we can talk a little bit about some wonderful work that she's doing out in the community. And the reason why I asked her to come talk on Selfful Sundays, usually I share sort of like things that I'm discovering about myself and ways that we can be selfful with ourselves. And that's the reason why I invited Tracy, because being selfful sometimes means also looking into yourself and developing yourself and improving yourself. And that's a big part of being selfful. It's a part of self-care because you want to get better, be better, do better, especially when you've been through plenty of things, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm going to introduce her. I know most of y'all know her, and we are streaming from multiple pages, so excuse our angles. Hey.
Get all the camera.
But so I want to just introduce her like the way that I know her. So I met Tracy probably like 20 years ago. We became like really, really good friends like 10 years ago. It's literally been like 10 years since we traveled to San Diego together to perform, and we shared a room,
and I almost died. Remember that in the shower? The shower had bust off. I was in there and I had like bent down to like wash my legs because we wash our legs, and I was washing my legs, and then I heard bow, and I was like, "Oh my god, what was that?" The whole head of the shower.
But we vibed with each other because we had similar struggles, we had similar goals and dreams, and so we've been rocking ever since. Went into business together. We did so much stuff. But this is my rider. But so that's me on a personal level. But if you don't know who Tracy is, she is not just a spoken word artist, but she uses her art as activism. She's a writer, a director. She is a co-founder of Brighter Than Before Entertainment. She wrote and directed a stage play called The Thick Chronicles, a body image story. So all the work that she's done has really been about giving people a voice. And then also calling attention to things that plenty of people ignore, especially with regards to women, especially with regards to Black women. With all that's been happening in the world lately in terms of marches and speeches and things like that, you've seen or heard Tracy literally from miles away, because that's how strong her voice is. But she's been spitting some fire ass poems lately just to kind of like bring attention to the struggle and what it means for Black people, but again, what it means for Black women. And so she has an event coming up, and we're going to talk about that event because we want you to be selfful and attend this event because it's really about self-development. So it's at Mind Evolution University, which is named after her. And Mind Evolution University is the home of Black Girl Studies. So what is Black Girl Studies?
Well, Black Girl Studies is it's a class that we created for Black women, by Black women, about Black women. And it was born out of a tweet that I saw where a woman said that she wished she had a class where she could learn how to play double dutch, braid hair, do all the things Black girls are supposed to do, judgment free. So, you know me. I probably called you like 5 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, I got this idea, right? Let's do this class. So in talking to everyone, pretty much that I know, most of the Black girls that I know, we talked about how some of us just weren't able to learn those things, not because we didn't want to, but maybe you were the only Black girl in your neighborhood, the only Black girl in your family. Maybe you just weren't interested in those things when it was happening around you. So we give you space, so you can get your Black card back.
Yes.
But it evolved also into more than just these classes. So what I want to do is take the things that stereotypically Black girls are supposed to be known for, good or bad, and flip them. And then we have these conversations that center around Black women and us being our authentic selves and carving out a space in the world for us, by us, about us.
Yes, FUBU. And also making sure it's safe. And I think it's important what you just said about why we might not have learned like these stereotypical Black things. And it's basically because as Black people, we are not monoliths, right? We don't just fit one. We're not a one size fit all. We are born in different places, different religions, different everything, different upbringings, different family households. Yes, there are some definite commonalities within us and some connections that we have, but I think that's a big part of it. And that's why I love the whole concept of Black Girl Studies. So can you tell us what you have done last semester or in previous semesters?
So last semester we were in person, pre-COVID, and we were able to do a twerk class, a potato salad class, a hair braiding class, and a spades class.
Yes.
So with the twerk class, what we did was we learned how to twerk, because even though I have all this ass, I did not know how to twerk. So we learned how to twerk by Ayana Work Twerk Fitness, and twerking involves your whole core. So then we discussed communication among Black women, and what I thought was going to be conversations around health and wellness really turned into communication. And what we found was that it's important for us to know how to communicate. And we had a woman who was there in the class, and she had a testimony afterwards where she told me that when she left the class, based on what she learned, she was able to go home, talk to her mom, talk to her husband, talk to her best friend, and someone who she hadn't spoken to in a few years, because just the communication was gone. So I was very happy about that we reached at least one person.
And can I add something about the class, because I didn't get to attend the twerk class. But, right, so if we're going to talk about Black girl studies and Blackness in our ancestry, right, so, within our culture, within the Black culture, especially in Africa, right, people use their hips and their body, right, to help balance out their sacral chakra. So your sacral chakra is all about your confidence and your not confidence, more like that sexual openness and that freeingness, right, and being able to be
balanced too.
And then also, because you are using your abs, you are looking at your confidence, because that's your solar plexus chakra. So I think there are some things that we learned or that are innate within us that we don't even realize that really come from our ancestors, and that's part of it. So don't sleep on twerking. But
for real, it strengthens. It's a whole body workout.
It is.
I was exhausted after I got home, and we, so then we did a hair braiding class, which
I attended.
I think what last season for me was the most it felt so spiritual, because we were all in the same space. We were learning about our hair.
It was so communal.
From a Black woman. Shout out to Kelly Holbrook.
Kelly Holbrook at Simply Divine
Beauty Lounge.
Yes.
We love you. She dyed my dreads too. But it was just, we learned about things and we're all Black. We all got Black hair, and we learned things that we were like, oh, I didn't even know.
Me too. About conditioning and washing and stuff. So,
and using the same product. So if you use a line of products, use all of their products, because it's a system that's designed, to keep your hair healthy, instead of hopping around from product to product, and everything is not made for every Black girl. So, you had what works for Toya may not work for me, and that was phenomenal, because we had a young lady there who said she went home and braided her whole head. And just recently, our homegirl Fairy, she posted how she was able to cornrow her mother's hair.
Yes.
And so just being able, and then we had these great conversations about hair and children, and making sure that we weren't causing trauma with our children while trying to do their hair. I mean, it was just, it's been more than I expected.
Yeah, it's definitely more. It's almost spiritual.
Yes,
attending these classes it's a form of self-development, but the connection that we have with each other and being in a safe space. I learned how to braid because I never knew how to braid, and people me being in the classroom as a teacher and being around Black and brown kids, they're like, "Miss, can you braid my hair?" I'm like, "No, I cannot." And so if you ask me to braid your hair today, I still ain't gonna do it because I'm not good at it. I learned how to do it, but what I did learn, even with my little bit of hair, is how to take care of it better by being in that presence, and like you said, having those that camaraderie between Black women.
And it was women we didn't know. I mean, there were women there, obviously, that we do know, but there were women that we didn't know, and it still was a comfortable space. We just felt like community. It felt like love, which, I'm all about the love. So, and then moving forward, with this year, we had to, let me back up. The spades class that we had. So we coupled the spades class with a spades tournament, which I'm very disappointed some of you out there didn't attend, but it's okay. It's okay, because you still have time. That's right. What we like to do at Black Girl Studies is also fundraisers that allow for everyone to join us. Since the classes are just for Black women, the fundraisers are for everyone. So the spades tournament was a way for us to have our Black men there
to support us.
Yeah, any allies that might have wanted to show. We wasn't teaching y'all spades, but you can come and you can definitely support us. You can buy seats for your Black girlfriends that you want to attend, your Black girls or Black women in your lives. If the men want to support. So we want to make it a way where that is still a community thing.
And we're going to talk about how y'all can help with that.
Yeah, we'll get specific, but that's why we always have like one big thing that everybody can attend. So that was the Spades tournament. And I was able to get these cards called the Black Pack, which I wish I had with me, but they are cards that, when you see the Joker, the King, the Queen, it's us. So they have a Martin pack. They have
I think I played those cards before because I had House Party in Martin.
Yes.
Fun.
It's dope. It's dope. So we use those cards. So everything we do is just like to promote what we are, and that's our Blackness.
Blackity black.
Yeah, so this season we moved virtually because of COVID, and it actually enhanced what we're able to do. So we started off with our plant doula class, and we were able to reach women in Florida, Maryland, Boston, Connecticut, like from everywhere. So it was beautiful because we were able to connect with all these women, and the space still felt
like home. Like it did. It felt like home, and it felt spiritual. And shout out to Allison McMeans, our other friend and former business partner, because she actually, like, afterwards I was like, yo, I want to buy a plant because I'm a grown ass woman, and like literally I think I had one plant like 30 years ago
get you
or something
with the greenery.
Yeah, but like going to the class, I really again started to understand not just the ancestral connection to it, but the spiritual connection to plants and greenery. And like it inspired me, and I felt intimidated about trying to buy a plant. So what I did is I kind of like put it out to my friends, like, yo, somebody like buy the plant and I'll pay you. And then my friend Allison actually sent me 3 succulents to get me started, and I'm so excited. Like I actually bought like special plants for them. I'm gonna show them to y'all.
Yes.
But I bought
What's their names? What's your plant names?
So my son Elijah named them. Their names are Kevin, Carl, and Jaleesa from a different world.
Yes, Jaleesa from a different world.
My son's old
Shout
school.
Out.
But and so it's starting, but like I actually enjoy like making sure that they get light those 2 hours during the day and watering them once a week. Like
you got a whole little system over there. They got like, what's that temperature
like
gauge?
the little water,
the water drips
thing.
Like you know how when hamsters get the little water drip, she got that for the plants.
Listen, it ain't even working, though. Okay. I'm not gonna find it. It's just because I don't know how to do it. But
that's okay.
It was like
we'll come back with another class.
Yes, I took a lot out of that class, and then also just making connections with other people, because when you do meet these people from all over, it's like, oh, let me find you on social media.
Yes.
Let me find out what it is that you do. So it's a great networking opportunity, but it felt like I felt inspired after I left the class.
And that's the greatest thing, because our professors it's not me running these classes.
Right.
I find people in the community who are experts on what they're doing. So we were able to have Gabby Barnes, the plant doula, and she's a person in our community, in the Hartford community. She's also a librarian. So she had extensive knowledge. She put together a great slideshow for us to be able to follow along and learn all of these things. So that's also the beauty of Black Girl Class, is that I'm able to highlight and showcase women in my community who have things to offer that I need to know and don't necessarily know for myself.
Right.
And because I want to be able to present them to my fellow sisterhood.
Yes.
She's
like the medium.
I'm just the conduit.
She's bringing us together.
Even if you don't like me, you can still come to Black Girl Class.
But who don't like
I ain't the one teaching this.
Who don't like
somebody you might love might be teaching it. So I know who doesn't love me.
Right?
How could you not? But yeah. So coming up is going to be Saturday the 26th, September 26th, 12 o'clock noon on Zoom. We will share the flyer at some point.
Yes, it's next Saturday.
Yes.
So next Saturday, right?
Yes, next Saturday, the 26th.
So next Saturday, it is a virtual event. You can sign up for it on
We're on Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm. We're going to post the link.
The Art of Neck Rolling at Eventbrite.com.
Yes. We're going to post the link on Brenda's Child page, on Mind Evolution page, on Mind Evolution University. You can actually follow them. So even make sure you do that. Follow Mind Evolution University, or ME University. I'm sorry, ME University, so that you can stay up to date and get those links and giveaways and things like that. But go ahead.
We're on Instagram as well. So ME University on Instagram, ME University on Facebook. You can follow my regular page, Tracy Caldwell. and also Poet Mind Evolution on Instagram. It's actually Poet Mind _evolution. But
she be making her stuff a little complicated.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's because people be already having stuff. But anyway, if you put in Poet Mind, I pop up on the first thing, and my logo is the same everywhere.
So can you expand again around what? Because it's called the art of neck rolling, which I love. I love even the whole concept, because that is something and this is what she means by flipping the stereotype, right? Because most of the time when you think about black girls stereotypically and you're trying to look at them in a negative light, what do you think of? The girls who be like, right? And so she's taking this negative stereotype and saying, yep, we're going to roll our neck, but let me show you how we're going to do it. We're going to do it in a way that's going to hit you like, Yes. So what are we learning to neck roll for?
So, okay, so I just got to give you like the brains behind that. So I was actually watching an old episode of Different World, and it was the episode Keenen Ivory Wayans is on there, and his sister Kim is a guest star, and he's teaching the girls, I don't know if it's a drama class or whatever, but he said to her, he was like, you keep rolling your neck like that, your head gonna fall off. And I was like, that's not right. Like that's a trademark of ours.
It is. It's who we are. Yes, we talk with our hands and we move our head and we tilt it.
What's our favorite scene from the Cosby Show? When Claire Huxtable reads Alvin,
and she rolls her neck.
She rolled her
nice
neck
and calmly.
And she still got her point across. And she walked away. So what I wanted to do,
I love it.
Since we've been faced, in the times that we're in with a lot of, just not even just these times, but racism and Karen's minding our business happens on a regular basis. We are in the workplace sometimes, and you want to say something, but you can't maybe say it the way you would like to say it.
I've been taken aback a lot in my field, and now I've learned how to apply it. But I remember, and not to cut you off, but I want to explain why this is important. So I remember we were doing a Black History luncheon at a school, and I was preparing, because I remember, because that really messed with me, and my response was not good. But I didn't know how to respond. I was so shocked. I had a hairnet on because I was preparing the food. We did work, all the Black people we had cooked the food, whatever. And so this teacher who I already know was fuddy duddy anyway, right? So she come over and she was like, what you doing, ain't ya? And I was like, what? And she was like, ain't your mama? And I was like, my immediate response, this was my response. I was like, yo, you better get the fuck out of here with that. And that was my response, because I was taken aback by that. And I didn't know how to respond. I legit just was stuck. And so I immediately went to 15-year-old Toya from the hood and was like, get the fuck out of here with that. That was my only response. So I didn't know how to give it a teachable moment. I didn't know how to clap back. I just and then I had to go take a take a time out and walk away and let me gather myself so I don't spaz out on this lady. So I think that's why this class is
and those important. Are the moments we
don't want to lose our jobs, but at the same time, and there's a balance between having to educate.
To be able to, I want Black women specifically to be able to be in these situations and walk out the victor. So you sent me was it a TikTok or an Instagram video of a woman on a plane, and she read them people.
Oh, I seen that.
Remember that? Oh, she read those people. They were trying to tell her to move out the way so somebody else could get by. She was like, well, I'm going to the bathroom.
She told him that he had recessive
traits because his eyes was green. She read them, but for me, she went too far because the police got on the plane and they took off the plane. So I want us to be able to read somebody in these situations, give all of the facts, and still get to the bathroom, get to work, do whatever it is we need to do.
So that we don't go to jail, lose our job.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Come back and think to yourself like I did that day, damn, I lost it.
Or don't miss the opportunity. Maybe it's not even that serious. Maybe you're just in the grocery store and you don't want to get in the car and be like, damn, I should have said. So we're going to teach you how to, in that moment, handle yourself in a situation, whatever it may be. We got a few scenarios, and I have my friend Alicia Cutting. She's going to be there she's going to act out some of the scenarios for us. So
shout out to Alicia, because she's classy with the way she clapped back. Anyway.
And this is our first class where a man will be facilitating for us. We have Sagacity Walker working with us, but we brought him in because he works with a company called Democracy Now.
Yes.
Or is it Everyday Democracy?
Everyday Democracy.
Everyday Democracy. And so because he's skilled in that way, I decided to bring him in. So he's the first male professor that we've had at Black Girl Studies, but for the reason of we can embrace Sagacity because Sagacity embraces us. He loves Black women. So again, we want to have a safe space for Black women because we could get
into a whole thing, but we're not going to right now. But we can
Not
get to a
today.
whole thing around how we got to deal with not only Karens, but we got to deal with white men and our own black men sometimes in the way that they respond to our oppression. So it's great that we have a safe person. And like she said, Sagacity, like that's what he does for a living, is this type of work. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to be all up in that joint.
This class is $5. Our plant class was free. But this class is $5 just because we want to make sure we can pay our professors. We want to keep continuing to bring quality programming. So sometimes the classes will be free, sometimes they won't be.
And $5, come on now. Folks got $5. Like that's like 2 Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice coffees. Like I love pumpkin spice. Don't do that, Tracy. We're not going to do this right now, Tracy. We're going to have that conversation offline because I love my pumpkin. But it's whatever. Well, like we spend $5, right? My bottle of wine definitely cost me more than $5, right? Like on an impulse buy, I bought like 6 bottles of wine. So $5.
Haagen-Dazs,
yes,
$5.
There you go. And if you can't make the event, sponsor somebody else who you feel like needs to do it, especially our younger young ladies who we don't, right? Because like for some of us, we've learned a little bit how to control our rage and our anger and our frustration, but a lot of our younger girls, we don't want them getting in trouble. So maybe you can
remember that time you had to save me when I wanted to throw a brick to that
she always used that example.
Yo, I really did. Like we sponsored an event and the proprietor of the establishment did not show up after we paid and everything, and they was like, "Well, we just gotta go." I was like, "Bump that!"
We were there, and we were at the spot to like set up for our show that we sold like over
mad tickets for. We had people coming from out of state to perform. I was heated,
and the place was just closed. And she's like, "I'm gonna throw a brick through the window."
She said, "Now what is that gonna do?" And I was like, "Make me feel better." I don't know. She was like, "And when the police show up, then what?" And I was like, "Okay, so." We don't want to change black women at all. We just want to help you navigate the world safely and like I said, come out on top. We are the chosen lot in this race, and I just feel like it's important to make sure that we have all the tools necessary so we can fight the fight safely.
Yes. And she's coming with the tools. She's coming with the resources, with the knowledge. So we, the reason why, again, that I wanted to say Tracy needs to talk about this is that selffulness, like being selfful and taking care of ourselves. So part of this is taking care of ourselves really on a very specific level, taking care of ourselves as Black women. We are taking care of ourselves in a group of other Black women who are supportive. And so for some of you who may struggle right now with having supportive circles, because I know that's tough, I am so lucky that my tribe is like phenomenal. The family tribe and the friendship tribe is the bomb. But I know that some people are struggling out there with finding their tribe or finding support sources. So joining these classes is important for finding new connections with women who might have insight into other things and really kind of building our own village, because if we don't got us, who gonna have us?
Exactly.
So,
and most recently, shout out to Miss Tammy Smith. She created a sweatshirt with a quote that I made, and it said, "Because who really gives a fuck about Black women?" Ooh. But I do. I give a fuck about us, and so I want to make sure that we always good. So everything I do, like I said, is in support.
Everything is because
and shine of.
Remember so my favorite line that you made into like slogans and everything that you made into t-shirts.
We made memes before memes were memes.
and you need to put it on the back on the t-shirt because she sold t-shirts like this. So let's make t-shirts again. But she had a t-shirt that says "Powerful Black Woman Capable of Anything."
Yes.
And that stayed in my classroom. That is in my office. That luckily I'm not have to be in right now because of COVID. But like that was everywhere because that poem and that line stayed with me, like a powerful Black woman capable of anything. And I feel like that's how we all are. We are all capable of anything.
Absolutely.
But guess what makes us better and more likely to be capable when we do have our support circle. So we're encouraging folks to attend this event. If you, for whatever reason, because I know like it is COVID and some people might not be able to afford that $5 because shit is real.
But we do have some scholarship seats.
Bam!
Thanks to Comores Cultural Center, aka the KCC, they did sponsor some seats. So if you want to attend a class, any class, and it's a paid class and you may not have it in your budget, please holler at us because we will definitely get you in.
Link up to Tracy. If you can't link up to Tracy, then like inbox me and I'll connect you to Tracy. Yes. But we want you to attend this virtually Again, it's next Saturday, September 26th. At what time?
12 p.m.
At 12 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you sign up for the class. We'll, like I said, we'll be posting it. It's on Eventbrite. It'll be on my page. I've been sharing it in my stories. All of our friends have been sharing it in our stories. But this is our fall semester. So like you see how I say "our" because even though it's not mine, it's like, well, when we ride together. But there'll be different events coming up. So also reach out to Tracy if you have an idea about a class that you feel like we need to do for Black women. If you feel like you have something that's specifically geared towards Black women and that, maybe you could want to be a guest professor, feel free to join our class because there's so much that we need to discuss and things that we can learn from each other and be great so that we can go out and live our best lives and be happy and be loved and know we're deserving of love and be safe.
Yes.
And be safe.
And we want to be able to do interactive things as well. So hit me with some ideas, even though we're virtual, we could do the twerk class again because, we all can just watch and get that, get that going. But I'm so excited because I was talking to a young lady who I watched grow up and blossom into this beautiful woman. Her name is Essence Walcott, and she planted a seed in my mind that we needed to have the conversation about having children, being from small towns, having children, women having children by the same men. So we're going to be doing a class called That's Just My Baby Daddy. And it's going to be an open conversation so we can discuss how women can support each other when we might have children by the same man. So now our kids are siblings and maybe I don't like you, but how do we still show up and support each other or not? Like maybe. Or
also how we build bridges within that, right? Because to me, one of the biggest things that helped me out being a single mom is having a whole system of single moms who we held each other down. Tracy kids don't watch my kid several times.
If you need a babysitter, holla at me because my daughter is in the business.
But she did. Her child babysat mine and our friends' kids when we had gigs together and stuff. And that's what we really, want to do. We want to build a village. We want to build a safe space for Black women, and I just love Black girl studies, and that's why I'm like, y'all support it. And there are other ways you can support it. So you can also, if you are a business and you have something that is with alignment with that, right? So like for the twerk class, if you had like workout clothes or some other brand, like we want you to consider sponsoring it. So what I'm going to do is for this, I'm going to donate 5 of my journals. So I have a journal called It's Not the Load That Breaks Us, and it's based off of a quote from the lovely Lena Horne, and the rest of the quote is how we carry the load, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's a journal for Black women, specifically for Black women. So the next 5 women who actually sign up and for the class will get that to them. So I'm giving away 5. So 5 journals for the next women who sign up for that class. Even if you can't afford it and you have to sign up through a scholarship, the next 5 women who sign up for the class this Saturday will get a free copy of my journal. It's Not the Load That Breaks Us. It's a journal specifically for Black women, and it has quotes in there from the female ancestors and the warriors that are currently existing and that are out there for us. So,
and if you are on my page, please follow Brenda's Child, aka Dr. Boz. She has just started her new coaching endeavors, and I think she's a phenomenal woman. I know she's my homegirl, but I check in with her a lot, and she checks me harshly sometimes and lovingly sometimes, but it's always well needed. And she's just helped me to grow in a lot of areas. So if you are looking for a coach or just motivation, she is all motivation, all self-esteem, the queen of self-esteem. Hey. And she can get you where you need to go if you are trying to reach new levels. So please hit her up and make sure you follow her on Instagram as well as Facebook.
And I promise to coach you in your language, because like I feel like we are, our spirits are so kindred, it's ridiculous. Yes. So like sometimes I'm very loving, but sometimes I'm like, yo, what the fuck, Tracy?
Yes.
And then it's
she
like,
do.
but
I'll be like, you're right.
But she talks like that, and so we talk like that together. So I promise to talk to you in your language.
Mm-hmm. And she receives if it's too harsh. And you be like, yo, back up off me, and she be like,
right. Ouch, that hurt, Toya.
You're right. I'm sorry.
So, but. And that's the whole point, is that we are a community of Black women who just want our Black women to be, again, happy and safe and their best and all these loving things. So we're just hoping that you support it. So if you can't make the event, share the flyer once we post it. Share it with a friend, because even if you don't need it, maybe your neck roll game is tight as hell. But maybe somebody else needs it, right? We don't want our black women
Some
getting
people
locked
don't
up.
have their throat chakra open,
Right.
and mine is wide open.
open.
So please come through, and we'll get you there. But you don't have to change who you are. We're not asking you if you're a timid woman to change into some aggressive neck rolling woman. We just want to meet you where you are, help you be your authentic self, and help you win in any situation that you show up in.
Yeah,
That's all.
And that's another reason why I love the class and why I'll be there, because like I said, I have definitely learned how to clap back. I want to say more in the workplace, just because of the work that I do. I work with, I work in a school system where it is basically 90% students of color. So I know how to speak up for our kids. And even for myself and for black staff, but in the streets, like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my head, I try to play out scenarios, but I don't know, because if my son is there, I'm gonna respond differently. I don't know, and it depends on how safe I feel. I don't know, but I don't want to get caught up and end up, because I also know, like, as much as I've done personal growth, there's still this little itty bitty part of me that is real, like, ratchet and like will want to like bust somebody's windshield, like.
The system is designed to keep us on the bottom. So even if you are in the right, a lot of times, just from the way we respond, sometimes they'll put you through the ringer, and we don't want none of y'all going through these police stations. I don't want any of y'all in these systems.
Will bail your ass out though.
I will
if it's
bail
some
you out.
racist shit, I'm coming to bail you out.
I mean, if don't call me if you provoke something and you deserve to be,
or you just beat somebody up on G. But like, if it's something racist, we coming. We coming for y'all.
And that's something we also want to do at Black Girls Class. We want to create a system where black women know that they can go somewhere. If you end up in court and you ain't got no bail money, we want to be able to show up for you. We're not there yet,
but we're working on
growing.
it. So, and I see like some people right now, because again, we're on like 3 different cameras, y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like, if you are on my Brenda's Child page, I know a lot of y'all are already in the community doing wonderful things and supporting. So like, if you have a business, organization, anything, resources that you feel you can help, and not just locally, because she's Connecticut, I'm Massachusetts, but like, Black Girl Studies is global. First of all, it's going to become global. I see how I just spoke that ill.
Amen.
But like,
it.
even just from our virtual events, like,